Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of Determined to Evolve Empathetically, the show in which I take personal responsibility for spreading kindness and happiness by way of self-improvement. I'm trying something new here in regards to this being a podcast, not only because I think it'll be fun, but also because I think it'll give you and me a better picture of what daily incremental progress can look like in our lives. It's easy to talk about tactics and what our utopian selves should do when everything's out of context. The goal and the challenge, though, is to be both knowledgeable and aware enough to apply these methods and behaviors in our everyday life. The format here is simple. I'll first recount something that I'm grateful for in order to help build the habit of being appreciative of who and what I have. You, of course, are always invited to join me by commenting with something that you're grateful for as well. Second, I'll describe something that I've struggled with throughout my day. Hopefully this will allow us to better see where or why I ran into difficulty, and then create an improved plan for the next time I encounter a similar situation. And that's it. It's basically going to be a sort of public journal. I might expand or change the format in the future, but for now, I want to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to make this podcast as daily as possible, and hopefully you can take something useful and implement a version of it within your life. So here we go. Today, I am grateful for my beautiful and loving puppies. They're sleeping, hit the mic cord. They're sleeping right here next to me, one under my foot, one a little behind me. And they've kept me company through this whole creation process. And, they're just lovely dogs. I'm grateful that they're in my life. So what do I struggle with? Today, I struggled with anger. I try to view anger and most other strong emotions as sorts of flags, signals that are telling me that I'm experiencing some sort of stress response and that I need to look more deeply into what's happening. So how did I try to deal with it? How did I deal with this anger? First thing I did is I tried to get out of my head and into my body. I tend to experience strong emotions such as anger with these accompanying loops of unhealthy thoughts. I can stop these loops pretty quickly, though, by removing my attention from my thoughts and focusing instead on my bodily sensations. A short burst of physical activity paired with some conscious breathing is generally my go-to tactic. Today, I used a movement I've nicknamed yin-yang push-ups, in which I slowly inhale while lowering myself down to the bottom position, and then I both exhale and push myself back up forcefully. Slow inhale and lowering down, and then that forceful exhale. The second thing I did was I meditated. For the obvious reasons, calm down the physiology, kind of get your focus back, rein your focus back in, and just quiet your mind, create some space between you and your thoughts. But that's where I stopped today, and you can probably guess how that worked out. I never came back and tried to examine my anger, find the source, to be able to reframe or get over it. Maybe I guess that the anger would magically disappear. But since it didn't, here are 2 steps that I plan to add to my approach next time. First thing I want to do, I want to write it down and read it out loud. Things that sound completely rational in my head often show their true ridiculousness once they're down on a piece of paper or on a computer screen, or when I hear it said. Especially if I can put a short time in between the writing of it down in the first 2 cases, and then when I come back to it. So again, what I want to do is I want to write down exactly what and or who I'm upset at and why. The second thing I want to do is find something that I'm grateful for about that situation. This is probably going to be the hardest and also the most important step. Gratitude is my direct counter to feeling angry. I have a YouTube video about that. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. So after I've gotten the specific negatives written down, I'm going to try to I will find 3 things about the situation that I'm grateful for. Not only will this serve the purpose of diffusing any immediate anger, but it also will put the situation in a more accurate perspective. Any aspect of a scenario that I'm grateful for is a thing that could technically be worse. In other words, it's something that's going well for me right now. And so with those 4 steps, get out of my head, get into my body a little bit more, meditate, then writing it down, reading it out loud, and then finding something to be grateful for. That sounds like a lot more steps when I put it that way. But with these steps, I should be able to better set myself up for success when it comes to stopping my anger from disturbing my train of thought or my peace of mind. And I'll be back to let you know how it goes, because this is only episode 1 of Determined to Evolve Empathetically, the show in which I take personal responsibility for spreading kindness and happiness by way of self-improvement. If you'd like to follow my journey, then be sure to subscribe. You can also find me sharing tons of educational and inspirational goodies at facebook.com/determined to evolve. Thank you for joining me this evening, and have a good one.